out, we've come down to this support line here. Okay, you see this here? Okay, if I just break it down, okay, let me draw my chart so we can actually see it a little bit better. So you can see here we had an uptrend. Okay, then we had a low there, a pullback, a low, a pullback. Okay, and now we've come back into this support line here. Now what's interesting now is I'm looking for a potential buy from this level here. Now this is still a downtrend. Okay, so bear in mind that this is still a downtrend. It's not going to be buy. Okay, we want to see what price does at this level because we can see it's rejected from it before. Is it going to break below? Okay, or is it going to bounce off? Okay, so this is what I start to do. Obviously, I've drawn up my charts now on GBP/USD, and what I'm going to do is I will go over to the 1 hour charts. Now, I know we actually popped an arrow on this, okay, and we did pop an arrow just here. But what I don't like about this particular setup is the MACD and RSI hasn't crossed over yet. So we could see more of a downtrend before reversing. So for me, even though we popped this arrow here, I wouldn't take this trade one single bit. Okay, I would wait for the MACD and RSI to cross over and then maybe get in, and then maybe get into as the blue and red crossover. So something like this. Let me find you an example of a setup like here. Okay, now you notice here we popped a arrow just here. Okay, and we've also got a perfect break, retest, drop. Okay, now what I would do, like I said, you can either enter on this arrow, but if you're unsure to see if price goes any higher, you could actually enter on the crossover of the red and blue here. Now, so GBP/USD has been an awesome trade for me this week. Now, if you know me as a trader, I started my career in binary before moving on to scalping. So I have this kind of background skill of scalping small pips on the lower time frames. But over the last few months, a lot of BD members have wanted me to cover the higher time frames, the 1 and 4 hour charts, because ultimately they want more pips and they want to see me trade in the higher time frames. So that's exactly what I've been doing over the last kind of month or so. I've been trading the higher time frames, going for around 3 to 5 setups a week. Now I know to a lot of people, 3 setups a week is not a lot. Okay, but when you take the idea on the concept that I'm doing, where I'm targeting 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trades, that is a lot of pips and a lot of profit in my back pocket. And this is a perfect example on GBP/USD. Now, I've done obviously a lot of scalping this week. I've done a lot of binary trading this week, but this trade alone will outdo every single one of my income streams with trading. So that's both for my binary trading and my scalping trading. This trade alone will outdo all of them. I want to break it down and why this is such a good trade for me. So, as you've seen, I had a webinar on Sunday where I do a market breakdown. Now, I've been doing a lot of this recently with the BD members where we go over the higher time frames, I do some analysis and show possible setups with the buy and destroyer that's going to happen in the coming week. And then what I do is I set the binary destroyer up on those time frames, on those currency pairs to give me an alert when I get a signal, and then I enter the trade. One of them was on GBP/USD. Now, I shared this in the VIP group yesterday. Okay, if I just move this down here, I don't know if you can see this. No, let me just I'll pause the video and I'll find you the actual picture of this so we can actually zoom in and I can break it down. Okay, so this was yesterday. I shared this up in the VIP group, GBP/USD. And as you can see, okay, we've pretty much come straight down into this 4 hour resistance, which you can see here. Now, what's interesting is that when we came down into this resistance area, we started to pop diversions on the MACD and RSIs, because we can see that by these signal arrows here. So that was a really, really good confirmation. But obviously, it wasn't until we go down to the 1 hour chart, you can see my initial entry point on this signal. And as pretty much says, the 1 hour MACD and RSI oversold, which it is. BD arrow right on the support line, stop loss 30 pips, currently running 91 pips in profit. Now this was yesterday, as you can see, the 30th of June at 11 o'clock. Okay, it was actually 10 o'clock. MT4 for me is 1 hour ahead. So this was 10 o'clock yesterday evening. Look at the trade now. Okay, look at this trade now. Okay, I'm currently 191 pips in profit, still going strong. My initial target for this is at the top here. So really this is going to be a 440 pip move to the upside with a 30 pip stop loss. Now, where do I get this target from? Okay, now if we actually go over to the weekly charts, it looks like we're stuck into a range here. Okay, we're not seeing a lot of movement on GBP/USD on the weekly charts. So my initial target is really at the top of this ranging zone at the top here. If you actually go down to the daily, you can kind of see it here. Okay, I anticipate that we do come up to at least this zone here. Okay, again on the 4 hour, you can see this target here. It's been extremely bullish. You can see those diversion signals again on GBP/USD. You can see that initial pullback and then rally up there. We might actually slow down a bit at this level here on the 4 hour. If we do break this 4 hour resistance area, then we're definitely going up to this zone here, which is going to be another initial 175 pips move. So yeah, obviously over the next few days, GBP/USD should come up to this 4 hour resistance. And yeah, absolutely awesome trade. Now, what's so good about this is this here. I'm using a 30 pip stop loss, okay, which these numbers here, these $100, $200 is just, okay, this is not kind of real money and how much I'm making, okay, I'm not going to share that with you, but we'll just take this idea concept and I want to show you here. So I have a stop loss of 30 pips. Okay, which is obviously, if I lose this trade at 30 pips, I'm losing $100. Okay, when this trade goes 30 pips in profit, I'm making £100. When this trade goes to 60 pips in profit, I'm making 200. 90 pips, 300, 240 pips, $800. Okay, now this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost a 1-to-8 risk reward ratio. Now, if this trade does hit my target at the top here, okay, at the top here, I mean, that is really gonna be almost, in fact, I've worked it out on my phone, it's gonna be around a 1-to-16 risk reward ratio. Now, every time this trade moves up 30 pips, so every time this trade moves up 30 pips, I lock in another 1% of my account. So when it goes up to 90 pips, I lock in 60 pips. When this trade goes to 120 pips, I move my stop loss to 90 pips. When this trade goes to 150 pips, I move my stop loss to 120 pips. So as you can see, I haven't actually got, in fact, let me go. I haven't actually got a fixed take profit on this. I'm just trailing my stop loss manually with this trade. And yeah, hopefully by the end of this week, we do get close to my target at the top of this zone. We should see at least this high here. And then I'd be interested to see what happens at this level. Do I close it off early? If we are going to be bullish and we do go to this target, this is going to be an absolute awesome trade. I don't see this target being filled till probably next week, maybe going into the week after. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely in a trend change. If you go over to the 30-minute charts, okay, you can see how price has definitely gone into this trend change here. We actually popped a nice little signal off the 30-minute charts as well with this. This is really good. Look at this double arrow confirmation there, both the MACD and signal arrow at the same time. This is really, really good. So yeah, I mean, look, at the minute, if I actually entered on the 30-minute charts, I would have got a 212 pips. So like I said, almost a 1-to-7 risk reward ratio. So yeah, that's my setup on GBP/USD for the week. yeah, like I said, at the minute I'm doing about 3 to 5 setups like this week. In fact, let me show you another buy. I've currently got a buy on USD CAD. Okay, we came into this zone here, this resistance area here. Now, resistance. I came into this support area here, around the 13545 level. What I do like about this is the MACD and RSI is oversold at this support line. My target for this is at the top of this zone here. I'm currently at the minute 2 pips in profit with a stop loss of 40 pips. So my stop loss is around here at 40 pips. If we do see a 64 pip move, again, you can see that'll be almost a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. I'm interested to see what happens with this trade. Going over to the higher time frames, you can see a little bit resistance, a support line here. If we do break lower than this, then obviously the next support line is down here. But yeah, those are my setups for the week. I hope you're having an awesome trading week so far, because I am. Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, drop me an email, thebinarydestroyer@gmail.com.